Hey, what's going on, guys? So it is April 19th. It's Tuesday morning, 5 a.m. About to go to PT. I just woke up. Yesterday's PT was cardio focused. We did like a 3.5 mile run. But today we're keeping it light and we're doing combative. So I'll show you some clips of that. But typically, like before we head into PT, I'll have a small snack like a granola bar, protein shake, and a banana. But since we're doing something really late today at PT and I'm going straight into the gym, then I wanted to have a larger meal. So I'll show you what I prepped last night. It's just my classic overnight oats recipe, which is 1 cup of just old fashioned oats, 2 tablespoons of the fat free, sugar free butterscotch jello pudding mix, half cup of almond milk, and 2 scoops of chocolate protein powder. I'm using the MTS flavor right now. So I'm going to prep that, add a few more things to it, and then we're going to get this day on a roll. So then after I let it sit in the fridge just for a few hours, I chopped up 1 banana and then threw on some of these. It's 1 serving of Nestle Morsel chocolate chips. I'll have the macros on the screen. Back when I was in Texas, those of you guys that have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know this was my breakfast like every morning right before going into work. But just being here, my schedule and things changing, my meals have changed a little bit just for convenience. But I woke up this morning at 216 pounds, which is one of the lowest in the last 4 weeks I've been dieting. As you can see, the big changes I've noticed in the past couple days or weeks is I was sitting in the 219s, 220s for a while. Then when I dropped carbs at 375, that's when I started seeing another decrease in my weight loss. So it stalled for a little bit up there, made a change, and now we're slowly decreasing again.
Night is cold, but your heart's colder. I will wait for you.
All right, pre-workout, what do I want? Do I want orange or do I want blue raspberry? I'm going to go with blue raspberry. And then for intra-flight, today I'm going to do watermelon. So if you guys aren't aware, intra-flight, everyone always asks me what are the difference between intra-flight and flight. Intra-flight is a branched chain amino acid product, so primary ingredients are leucine, isoleucine, valine, but then it has some ingredients for pump and endurance. And then this is non-stimulant based. Flight, your pre-workout is stimulant based, so per serving 300 milligrams of caffeine. Then you have ingredients for pump, focus, and endurance. You got beta-alanine, 3.2 grams. You have tyrosine, huperzine alpha, agmatine sulfate, all good stuff. So I wanted to bring up something to your guys' attention, just in case you're not tracking what's going on. If you don't know what the word tracking means, or the phrase, it's pretty common in the military and the army. The reason I bring it up is because I was talking to my dad on the phone the other day, and I used the word tracking, and he had no clue what I was talking about. He was lost in the sauce. And like we use it on like a daily basis. Like, hey, you tracking? Yeah, I'm tracking what's going on. Do you understand? Are you aware? But just to make sure you guys are tracking. So on my website, I've been doing blog posts more frequently, and I want to keep doing them more often depending on what you guys want to know or hear more about. And if there's something or a topic that you're interested in, just leave it in the comments below. And if a few people are interested in that topic, I'll either do a video and post it on the blog, or I'll just do a text blog. But the most recent ones I did are Cutting 101, so the basics of cutting and how to find your macros and where to make changes and what increments you make to your calories and how often, and then how to set up your macros. And the most recent one I set up and did on the blog was Will Cardio Kill Your Gains? And it kind of compared high intensity training cardio and low steady state cardio. And it really depends on your goal, what is better for you. If you're a strength athlete or a bodybuilder, more high intensity, shorter duration but higher intensity exercises are going to be better for you. And cardio that kind of mimics your multi-joint exercises, so sled pushes or higher rep squats, stuff like that, rather than going on like a long 4 to 5 mile run for an endurance athlete. And it's kind of one of the reasons I'm excited to get out of the Army, is not to do these long 4 to 5 mile runs on a pretty regular basis. And I think I'll actually see better results in the gym and my strength and gains when I decrease that kind of cardio and I increase the more high intensity training that I actually enjoy a lot more. But today's shoulder workout, so the reason I love training shoulders so much is because you have so much flexibility in the workouts themselves and what you can do. So today was probably the first time in like 3 to 4 years that I've actually touched the Smith machine. The one reason I do like the Smith machine for overhead press, and I like doing a lot of different variations for overhead presses, so either barbell, dumbbell, Smith machine, or like machines as well, plate loaded machines. But with the Smith machine, you can get a different stimulus on different parts of the muscle depending on where you set the bench. So in other movements, it really depends on where you move the bar. But with the Smith machine, you can target different muscle groups depending on where you move the bench, and you can also mitigate injuries as well during the movements. Okay, so post-workout, I'm not going to have an actual meal. I'm just going to eat one of these Nature Valley Oat and Honey granola bars, which is like 30 grams of carbs. Reason being is I really need to get to work. I'm running late right now. But my breakfast, my pre-workout meal was pretty dense in calories, so carbs, proteins, and fats. And we didn't do much for PT. It wasn't really, expending too much energy. At the gym, it wasn't a crazy workout. So the food I ate pre-workout is still in my system, and I'm able to use it for recovery purposes. My next meal will probably be in like 2 hours. So, if you have a big meal prior to going to the gym, you don't need to have something immediately after working out. That meal you had before will sustain you through your workout, through your post-workout. The only reason I would have like a meal immediately post-workout is if I didn't have anything for a few hours prior to going to the gym, or I fasted like in the morning or something. So let me eat this real quick. I gotta get to work. All right, guys, lunch. Right now it is 12:15. Today's just like a crazy busy day getting stuff done at work. It's probably gonna be a late night too. What I've been doing lately is, because lunch is my largest meal of the day because it has the most time in between breakfast and dinner in terms of hours. So I just want to stay fuller for a longer period of time, and I try to make it a higher volume. So I do one whole bag of romaine lettuce. You guys saw me pick this up in my last grocery haul video. So I count that as about 10 grams of carbs. Then I have 8 ounces of just pre-cooked chicken breast, half a cup of black beans, and then for condiments, I use the French's honey mustard, which I believe is only like 10 to 15 calories per serving, and I use like 2 servings from there. I don't track it at all. When I'm buying condiments, when I'm dieting, I try to buy stuff that's under 15 calories, and then I won't even use a whole serving most of the time, and I just don't track it. And it makes things just a whole lot easier without tracking absolutely every little thing. The deeper I get into a diet or closer to a contest prep, the more accurate and the more likely I'm going to track everything. But right now, I'm not too worried about it. And then on the side here, just one regular peanut butter sandwich is just 2 slices of Nature's Own whole wheat bread. I think it has like 11 or 12 grams of carbs per serving, and then 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. So I'll have the macros on the screen, but like I said, this is one of the more calorie dense meals and higher in volume as well, just because it keeps me fuller for a longer period of time. So the good thing about living so close to work right now is that I can just run back to my apartment, make something quick, head back to work. So right now it is about 4 o'clock p.m. before I head back to work, and this is like a pre-workout meal because I want to go finish arms a little later, which I didn't get to this morning. But it's essentially a mug cake. So in this is just a half a scoop of the MTS peanut butter cookies and cream protein powder, 2 servings of the Flapjack protein pancake baking mix. You don't really need to use this. You can use a regular pancake mix if you want, just like a complete pancake mix. There's probably a 1/4 cup of almond milk, 1 whole egg, and then a little bit of baking powder just to help it rise a little bit more. And then what I did is just mix all of that up and put it in it's just like a Tupperware dish, but I sprayed the Tupperware dish with some Pam prior to, just so that it would come out a little easier and just plop right out. And then I put it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes, and then I'm going to top it right here just with some sugar-free syrup. So this will be my pre-workout meal. I'll have the macros on the screen. Pretty filling though, and I just sliced up a banana and threw the banana on there. So I knew today was going to be a long day. Didn't realize it was going to be like 9 p.m. late. So I have about an hour till the gym closes, and I want to finish off the workout that I couldn't get to this morning. So shoulders this morning, and then right now I'm going to try to hit biceps, triceps, just finish off like an arm pump, and then get some ab work in. There's something about lights, like a baseball stadium, football stadium. They're supposed to be like a really good mood, especially when it starts getting like warmer out, and it's like this, you know, springtime's coming up now. Just like it makes me think of when I was younger, playing sports, being back home, and it really reminds me of home. Like this makes me miss home right here. It always looks good. All right, so last meal of the night, nothing too crazy. It's just 8 ounces of pre-cooked chicken breast, and then with some honey mustard and some of the Tabasco Chipotle sauce. This is like as close as I get to having Chipotle right now. And then 10 ounces of just russet potato. Before I went to the gym, I just threw them in the microwave for like 6 minutes. When I get back, they're not like too hot. They're just like perfect temperature. And I just threw a little bit of salsa on there. All right, guys, so today's total macros were 248 grams of protein, 370 grams of carbs with 42 grams of fiber, and 69 grams of fat. So I was under by like 1 to 5 grams. 1 to 6 grams on each macro. But when I'm dieting, you know, I give myself like a 5 gram per macro buffer, but I typically try to stay a little bit under my macros just to be safe. Woke up this morning at 216, so weight is very slowly decreasing, and I'm making progress, and I can definitely start seeing it in the gym and in the videos that I'm making too. You know, you get to a certain point where you start getting leader and you see more progress as striations come out and veins and stuff like that, and it's honestly more motivating cutting and seeing that stuff than when you're bulking sometimes. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like if you did. Talk to you guys in the next one.